I really don't use this channel to just like go off yelling and screaming about something. I try to remain very professional and very much in the middle. After all, I have that journalistic integrity still in me. But today, if you're here, you are here for a rant, and I might be saying what you're already thinking, or if you disagree with me, I'm cool with that too, as long as we're respectful to one another. Put it in comments. I just want to kind of vent for a little bit. We're also going to look at this Fenty lip luminizer because I have so many holiday products here. I can't not put a new product in a video. They're overflowing here. So anyway, I'm going to complain about Hourglass and we're going to try on Fenty. Today, with me, Rebecca. I am, as I just noted, a fashion and beauty journalist who has spent over 20 years working with some of the biggest names in the beauty industry and fashion too, which is part of my rant today, or part of the information for my rant today. But you know, people don't read as much as they used to. You might, and I'm glad you do. But most people don't. I don't even read as much as I used to. So I have brought Not Fit for Print, get it? Not Fit for Print beauty here to YouTube to make a kind of live beauty magazine that you can look through every day or so here on YouTube. All right, let's get into it. Before I start complaining, there's a lot of complaining. You know, I picked this up because I thought it was fun. Fenty is the queen of these lip luminizers and lip glosses. It seems like everybody and their brother makes a lip gloss now, but remember, there was a time when Fenty cornered the market on it. They really did. This is the Fenty Gloss Bomb Swirl Twisted Lip Luminizer. Look, it could go on your tree if you pretend this is a tree and it's hanging there. It's $24, and what it really is, it's a combination of Fussy and Fuchsia Flex, which are two Fenty shades that kind of go great together. Look, they swirled them in there. This is just gimmicky enough to get my attention. And this is a lip luminizer, so it smells like the traditional Fenty smell, which I kind of find fruity and fun, but some of you have told me you find it just ghastly, and if you don't like it, it's here. Okay, let's try it on. That's pretty. It's like nice and creamy, feels like a Fenty lip luminizer, and it's got a little bit of opacity and a little bit of kind of cream color to it, and a little bit of color. That's cute. It's really cute. If you are interested in what is on my eyes today, I'm filming a lot today. So this, Guerlain, it's Guerlain. This will be in my video that I'm putting out tomorrow, Sunday. So watch for that. Okay, that's pretty. And it feels nice too. And it's not stinging or anything on my lips. What a cute little gift, $24. It's sparkly, it's shiny, and it is undeniably a Fenty lip luminizer. So super nice stuff from Bad Girl Riri, really nice. All right, let's talk about Hourglass. So let me give you the history and why I'm salty here. And the reason I feel propelled to speak about this is that throughout the years, lots of people have been upset with Hourglass. I never was. I always kind of was like, okay, I get why they do what they do. I don't always agree with it, but I feel like they're going to make it up to us, and they kind of really try to, et cetera, et cetera. And I was always kind of an apologist for them, or I was kind to them about it. I'm like, no, they'll hear us. They'll hear us. Like, I agreed that they needed to have more diversity and shade. Of course, I agreed with that. It's obvious. And I feel like they've kind of come around, maybe not to everybody's pleasure, but, you know, I mean, I feel like they've finally heard us and tried. It wasn't like I was on their side, but I feel like, you know, they came a long way. So I was like, okay, Hourglass, I'm with you, I'm with you. And I've always been a big fan, and I'm an affiliate. And then they did, and you know, I have forgiven them of so many things, and they have shades that are kind of similar and release the same palettes. And I'm like, yeah, but if you don't have it, it's new to you. And you know, I've always really been a big fan. So come the holiday release this year, which of course, as you guys know, was Evil Eye, Lotus, and Dragon. I reviewed them as I normally did and put my code out there for 10% off. They had canceled my code, not just me. They had some shady dealings with how they canceled. Some creators have them, some don't. Most they're canceling, they're not renewing. They didn't communicate regarding that. It was embarrassing on my end. And I get it. They own the company. They have every right to cancel a code. It is their code. If I'm letting you borrow my shoes and I decide not to have you borrow them, every right. Okay, fair enough. But if they could have told us, it turned out to be slightly embarrassing, and people really wanted the discount and it wasn't there for them, and that was hard. And they weren't responding to all their affiliates who really work hard for them. But I don't work for them, so they had every right to do it. But, you know, it left a little bit of a bad taste. Okay, and then we had this. This is what I really want to talk about. I will put my review of the Evil Eye Lotus and Dragon at the end. I think they're beautiful palettes. I use them all the time. I like Hourglass. That's why I think this is significant. And that review will be at the end, but ignore the part about how I have a code because I don't. I want to talk about the Barneys collab. So Hourglass announced that they were doing this collaboration with Barneys to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Hourglass. And I'm a big fan of Barneys. I don't know if you guys know who Simon Doonan is, but I have always thought when I first went into fashion, he was one of the reasons I went into fashion. I think he's amazing. I had a chance to interview him kind of early on in my career, and I just bow low as he walks by. And I think Barneys New York was, because they're gone now, the pinnacle of fashion. I used to shop there. I went in LA, I went to New York, and I just honestly, if Barneys showed it, it was worth wearing. So I have not yet recovered from the demise of Barneys. It is something, you know, in a post-COVID world with retail suffering, I think Barneys was, for fashion, personally, our biggest loss, I think. So I was excited to see a collab with Barneys. I thought, well, that's kind of cool. But I was like, why celebrate the 20th? And this is where the rant begins. I wasn't going to question anything with Barneys because I got to see Simon Doonan and I got to think about Barneys again, and it was pivotal for me. But I don't understand why Hourglass's 20th anniversary would coincide with Barneys. Maybe they originally released at Barneys and I need to look that up, and that would make more sense. It's just kind of weird. Like, I wouldn't celebrate 5th anniversary on this channel by partnering with Goodyear tires. You know what I mean? Like, why? You know, anyway. And maybe Hourglass first came out there. That's quite possible. In fact, let me fact check that. Okay, so yes, that would make sense, and it is true. The founder of Hourglass first partnered with Barneys in 2004, 20 years ago, to launch Hourglass, and they marketed it for her. Okay, so fair enough. That explains that. But it seemed an interesting release. So they did a channel, put down below in comments if you follow they have that broadcast channel on Instagram, which was interesting, but they were really flooding the feed with it. And I thought, okay. And then they came out with a palette. But they admitted that this palette looked a little like this, the cover, and they admitted that this palette was just the elephant redone, which I was like, cool, thanks for telling us. Don't need to pick it up, have the elephant palette. Fine. But that's when the strangeness started. Then a second and a third palette came out, and there was some confusion here. First of all, there was already confusion with the first one because it was the elephant in the original elephant casing, but a lot of people had the elephant in different casing. Stay with me here. Then we had a lot of typos on, and not just typos, but misinformation accidentally on the website from Hourglass. So we listed all of the shades, but some of that information was inaccurate or copied over from one to the other. I bought the second and the third edition of the palette. I'll tell you why they're packaged up in a minute. I'm not unpackaging them because I am returning them, and I never return things. I can count literally on one hand how many items I've returned. I don't return items. If I use them in a video, then I use them for my job, and that means I have to pay for them. That is why I'm not opening these. If I open them, if I swatch them, then I have to keep them. This is my ethical thing for myself, okay? So I'm not opening these. I'll just show you pictures. So on the website, there's all sorts of misinformation. Different shades listed, different things. Hopefully they fixed that by now. But the worst part of it was that for each palette, volume 2 and volume 3, it listed that each palette had 3 brand new shades, and this is patently untrue. And that bothered me. So in each of these palettes, there are shades that have been released as a single. There are Evil Eye and Elephant palette shades. There are Lotus and Jellyfish, Butterfly palette shades, Snake shades throughout. So they're not new unless they're playing fast and loose with the term new. We do have brands that will say a product is new when they're put together or curated in a different way. I found it haphazard, random, and sloppy. And I'm upset about it because I am a massive fan of the brand. And so I'm not just saying this through my journalist eyes. I'm editorializing, and I rarely do that. But I'm also saying it as a consumer, and I wonder how many of you have been let down by this too. When I started doing the research after I purchased them, and these are $90 each. This is $180 worth of product here that I will not open, and I am going to return. Like I said, I can count on one hand how many times I have returned products in years of running, almost over 4 years of running this channel. I've just been let down. I have all of the shades. Now, I have spoken with a lot of people. So I have a membership here on YouTube. It's $4.99 a month. And the lovely Emily, who is a member and a viewer of this channel, and I took a night via DM and went through these palettes. Because Emily was, as many of you have, trying to figure out if these shades could be new to her. And if shades are new to you, then more power to you. And like, she was really attracted to the volume 3, which I am as well. I mean, I think they're beautiful together. And no shade on Hourglass for that. Their powders are gorgeous. They're finely milled. They apply beautifully. I love Hourglass, okay? I'm not just trying to attack them. I've defended them from the jump. But this was hard because it was very difficult to tell between saying it was Elephant, but some people had Elephant in a different package, saying they were new, even though it seemed to be accidentally said that they were new, and trying to investigate the names of shades that all have ethereal, light, or lucid, or glow in them became something that you should have qualified for a PhD in if you finished it. And when all was said and done, as you might have heard from other creators, it was discovered by both Emily and myself. And like I said, now a few other creators are saying it too. Don't listen to the website. I hope they fixed it by now. There are no new shades. Now, those shades might be new to you, but I feel in general, and this is not just a statement on Hourglass, I will include Pat McGrath in this. I think that brands need to be more transparent when it comes to repeat shades. NARS a little bit too. No one is safe. These are brands I love. I love all three of those brands I just named. But if you are including shades, curating shades that have been used before, I think that needs to be made abundantly clear. I think that saves the brand the headache of us returning things, because I am returning these too, albeit they are unopened, but I am returning them, and it saves consumer trust. I want to be told this is a repeat. Natasha Denona is pretty good about that. She really is. She's pretty good about saying when something is a repeat or why she put it in again. She'll talk about that at length, and I think that's pretty good. I've been fooled by Natasha Denona before, but I don't think it was the fault of the brand. I think it was me rushing in. This, honestly, you needed a PhD to tell what was new and what wasn't. And the website was, I don't believe purposely misleading at all, but sloppy and quickly done and confusing. So now that I've run and done a fact check, I get why they partnered with Barney's to celebrate their 20th anniversary. And it was lovely to see Barney's back in any sort of capacity. So I appreciate them for that. But I think they should have been much more transparent in what shades were repeats so the consumer knows. And I think the fact that we were all sitting on the ground, spreading out palettes and singles and trying to figure it out for ourselves is unfair and wrong. If the shades are new to you, as Emily found, I'm using Emily as my example here, that volume 3 is beautiful and it's all new shades to her. So she was cool with that, and I don't blame her. But me, as a completionist, I was disappointed and upset, especially with the copy not checked on the website and various places where you clicked. Names of shades were inaccurate and wrong, and yeah, that is my complaint. Having said all that, I love Hourglass, and if these shades are new to you, then go for it. But my goodness, brands, could you please be a little bit more transparent when it comes to what are repeats and what aren't? Because it is my job now to sit on the floor and spread out palettes and figure out what's new and what isn't. And I was going to say go to print. I wanted to go here on camera and be able to get excited and show you what was new. And I would have done it even with one new shade. But I was told there was 3 new and there are none new. I've repeated myself enough. That is my rant, my vent. Now, here's where you come in. Do you agree or disagree? I want to hear what you think down below. If you disagree with me, that's cool. You guys, I love a dialogue. I'm going to be polite to you. You be polite to me. If you disagree with me, by all means, speak your mind down below. And if you agree with me, speak your mind down below. I do not hate the brand. I will continue to review them. I love Hourglass. But I just think this was a misstep, and it's a shame because I love Barney's too. So shout out to Simon Doonan, who is just still the coolest man who ever lived. I really feel that way. And I love Hourglass, and they can make it up to me with the next release, which I'm sure I will love as well. But gosh darn it, this one frustrates me. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you are subscribed. And tomorrow we got Guerlain and Gucci coming up, as well as palettes in the next few days from Lancome. I've got Ilia coming up, Merit coming up. Just a ton of new releases for holidays. But I feel a little bit better now that I've gotten this off my chest. What do y'all think? Let me know.